Kern County In Depth with 17's Jim Scott.
Welcome. Good to have you with us this weekend. I'm Robert Price, substituting for Jim Scott. It's proven almost impossible to find any aspect of our lives, politics, business, sports, worship, simple family gatherings, that has not been touched by the COVID-19 pandemic. Among the otherwise mundane activities and ordinary joys we've been forced to give up these past few months, add this: live music. Arena rock, coffee house acoustic, the symphony, country pop. If you've been hankering for a live show here in this one-time capital of West Coast honky-tonk, you've been out of luck. But concert goers aren't the only ones who are missing the music. The people behind the curtain are suffering too. Music business entrepreneurs, from concert promoters to talent managers to music venue owners and managers, are suffering. That's an understatement. Health officials have been imploring us to avoid large crowds, but large crowds are the objective for the live music industry. And just as the pandemic has cost communities across the U.S. many of their long-standing small businesses, so too has it cost, or is threatening to cost, many of those same communities their concert venues, large and small. Can anything be done? Two U.S. music business trade associations are trying. The National Independent Talent Organization, or NITO, formed by independent talent agencies and entertainment management companies, and the National Independent Venue Association, or NIVA. Both say their members are struggling tremendously during this pandemic, along with restaurants, bars, hotels, and other businesses associated with tourism. NIVA and NITO are trying to push two pieces of legislation through Washington when legislators return after Labor Day. Bills nicknamed Save Our Stages and Restart to provide PPP-like emergency funding for those small businesses. They're looking for 6 months' worth of assistance and say that if it's not forthcoming, hundreds of venues around the country could close for good. This past week, I spoke to several people in the music business, behind-the-scenes people, some based in Bakersfield, some with national profiles. Paul Lohr, who operates out of Nashville and Atlanta, Tom Chauncey, who owns a talent management company in the Bay Area, Dave Shapiro, a founding member of the National Independent Talent Association, who books shows from bases in California and the East Coast, and two Bakersfield businessmen who belong to NIVA, the venue owners group, partners Don Bynum and Tom Maxwell of Timber Brewing Company, and Bakersfield's Rick Kreiser of Guitar Masters. Join us for the conversation right after this.
I use ice cream as kind of for medicinal purposes, you know.
This would be so good for dinner.
Very crispy, spicy,
delicious,
a little tang,
crunch.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Hot through everything.
Untreated roof damage can be a devastating problem and cost thousands in damages. If you need it fixed now but don't have the money, call San Joaquin Construction Services. We have great financing options. Protect your home and give yourself peace of mind today. Call for a free estimate.
Are you thinking about selling your home? Do you want to save on commission but get less for your home? Or save on commission and get top dollar for your home? No advertising and secondhand service? Or extensive advertising and the best 5-star service in town? How would you like to save on commissions and get top dollar for your home? Now you can with Jeff Jackson and Associates. Get more and save more. Call us at 487-HOME.
Someone went through a yield stop sign, hit me on my bicycle. So then I called up Mickey Fines and Associates. The next day, they had an investigator out there looking at my case. It was great. I felt at ease. I felt like he was listening. It was a very pleasant experience. And Mickey did a great job.
Call my office, the law offices of Mickey Fine, 661-333-3333.
Now is the time to sell your home. And with interest rates so low, it's a seller's market. Call Tammy Watson today and get a free comparative market analysis to find out what your home is really worth. For an experienced realtor you can trust, call Tammy Watson today.
So until this point, people were willing to put themselves in danger because of the deliciousness of a s'more.
Why would I want to start a fire? It's very dangerous. Skip the fire, get the shake. Toasted s'more shake.
Welcome back. Our topic is the music business mid-pandemic. Not the artists so much as the nightclub operators, show promoters, and talent managers. I spoke with Tom Maxwell of Timber Brewing and three others in the music business: Paul Lohr, Tom Chauncey, and Dave Shapiro.
Paul, what brings us all together?
Well, that we're all in dire straits with no income for the foreseeable future. And this is, we're just one of many small business groups, but what makes our business different, the booking agents and the managers, is that we were the first to close and we'll be the last to open. Once a vaccine's in place and folks are treated and everyone's comfortable going out again, restaurants and those who serve beverages and what have you, you flip the switch, they're open, people are in. But with concerts, folks need to make plans well in advance. The promoters and the venues who sell the tickets and have money at risk, they need adequate time to market the shows, advertise, which usually is months. So perhaps let's just be very optimistic and say in the spring the vaccine will be out and people will start taking it. It may be the summer before the first shows play back at a normal rate.
From a venue's perspective, what's scary is what they're talking about having us do in terms of people wearing masks when shows are even available. I mean, can we still have the same room capacities that we used to have before? Are we going to have to charge double the ticket just to make it pencil for the band and to get everybody to travel? I mean, these are huge concerns. So even when we can reopen, what is the strategy going to be? And that's very scary from the venue side because, we depend on having bands come in and play and having, comedy and other activities going on, at least in our business. What that looks like on the other side is definitely frightening for the venue as well.
Yeah. And I think it's important to point out, Tom, that's an excellent point. And for me, I think it's important to Bob, for you to know that our organization is really, we're made up of all independent agencies and managers, and we represent the larger ecosystem that is the touring business. Artists, all the crew people, et cetera, et cetera. And I think there's a misperception by the public and perhaps by our legislators that the music business is full of superstars and they don't need the money. And yes, there is a small, sliver at the top, but then there's the rest of the business. It's all the people that play all the independent clubs all around the country. And we know right now that if there's no immediate support for the independent clubs, that about 90% of them will likely close. And that's a staggering loss for not just those particular clubs and for the artists that play those clubs, but it's really for the communities that those clubs are based in. We know from other studies that approximately for every dollar spent on a ticket, each dollar generates $12 in ancillary revenue to the community. And so that's folks that are going to a show. Maybe they're going to stop at a restaurant and have dinner before. They're going to get parking. They're going to get a babysitter. Some people traveling from out of town to get a hotel. So, the music business is really a feeder for a vast part of the economy. And I think that's a big part of what we're trying to educate and message out. And that's what we're going together.
Yeah. And I think, and just to jump in on that and, kind of add to that, the amount of jobs that are created in those scenarios and the reciprocal, of course, taken away when these things aren't happening. When you think about, not only the crew guys on tour, but the local crew guys, the security people, the, parking attendants, the ticket takers. There are so many people involved in these things that are not working right now. And further to that, NIVA, the National Independent Venue Association, did a survey with their members, which I think at this point is around 1,100 venues. I may be wrong on that, and we can get you, a more accurate number from them. But point is, they did a survey, and I think this is really compelling information and scary information. But they did a survey internally, and one of the questions they asked their members was, if you had to open at 50% capacity, could you survive? And literally 100% of them said they would go out of business. So, because you have to remember that it's usually that first 50 to 60% of the tickets that are actually paying all the expenses, right? So, at that point, you don't even have the ability to get into the black. So it's very scary to even think about, the idea of opening at reduced capacities. For a lot of these places, the majority of them means never opening again. So it's really scary.
I think the number, NEVA's current number is they have 2,400 venues that are a part of this.
Okay. Yeah. So
I saw a number that said that arts and entertainment accounts for approximately 5.1 million jobs in this country, and my guess is that's that broader, picture of the staffing and all the people that work in the system. So it's a huge number. So Bob, you asked about legislation. Sorry, I know we kind of got off on a tangent.
That was. Thank you for taking me down that road. Of course, we didn't mention waitresses and bartenders, and it's huge.
It goes on and on.
All of that.
Yeah, it goes on and on. And
we haven't even touched on the PPE equipment that we may have to wear while we're actually watching a concert. I can't imagine wearing a mask while I'm seeing one of my favorite bands play. That's just it's going to be very unusual, and I think that's probably going to be the reality, honestly. I mean, I've gone to Coachella a lot of times, and people wear masks because of dust out there, but now we're going to be wearing masks because of the fear of catching coronavirus or some other virus. So it's certainly going to be a brave new world, even for large festivals like that.
And usually, and it's understandable, we usually focus on the economic side of this question, which, that's what we've been talking about, but not a lot of time has been spent talking about the damage to culture. And let's face it, people, what you do for fun and what you do for entertainment and what music represents to people and how that shapes our culture, if we are not careful at preserving the system that allows it to exist, we're going to lose a lot of that. And sometimes it's hard to make that point and to make it succinctly, so I probably could have said it in a better way, but you follow what I'm saying, right?
No, you said it well. I think you're exactly right. And there's a psychological aspect to it as well. I mean, I got to get out of this house, and the first place I want to go is Timber to hear a live concert or a comedian or something.
Yeah, the social connections that you make, young people meeting people at shows. That's what culture and society is all about. And so it's all been put on pause. And what we're trying to do is point out that we're on pause. We're not going to come back anytime soon, and we need some assistance to get to the other side. So when we get to the other side, that it's still there for people to enjoy.
Yeah, we don't want the Bakersfield sound to go silent.
It's going silent fast enough already without all this extra help.
Right. Yeah.
And of course, then local governments suffer when they don't get the sales tax and the TOT and all that kind of stuff. So it's everyone's affected. Big
domino effect, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's talk about the legislation.
Okay, I can jump in on that. So NITO is focusing on two pieces of legislation. One is a bill called Restart, and the other is a bill called Save Our Stages. And currently, Restart has 52 senators supporting it. Both of these bills are bipartisan, and I think that's really critical to mention. What we're talking about is a bipartisan issue. It's about preserving culture. It's about preserving businesses. Restart is a broader-based bill that is effectively like the PPP program, and so it really addresses small businesses all across America.
I can only imagine what songwriters and musicians are going to, unveil in 6 months or whenever it might be, sitting at home by themselves in their living rooms writing songs. So, I mean, it's really sort of has a renaissance potential for live music and recorded music, for that matter.
It does. It does, but our job is to try and sustain the places where they'll be able to broadcast that message. In other words, to go on tour and to play for people. And so if we're working hard to try and keep these venues open, keep our business alive so these people can go back out and spread that message. And so, that's why it's a critical time for us right now.
We'll be back right after the break. You're watching Kern County In Depth.
Attention homeowners, it's swarming season, and those aren't wing ants, they're termites. These termites swarm and find new homes to destroy. Have you located damage on your property that looks like this? If so, call today for your free evaluation. Don't make the $5,000 mistake. If left untreated, termites can destroy your property at an extraordinary pace. Call American Termite today for your free evaluation. A free termite evaluation can save you thousands. Protect your biggest investment and call American Termite today.
Earner's Inventory Blowout Sale is here through Monday only. Come and save on this heavy-duty washer and dryer, now only $6.99 each. Or save on a complete appliance package from GE and get up to $2,000 cash back. And with special financing for 1 full year and free on-time delivery, your satisfaction is guaranteed. So if the lowest price, free on-time delivery, and great savings on appliances are for you, then count on Earner's. Always trusted, always Bakersfield.
At Peter's Funeral Home, we have been taking a close look at the needs of the families we serve, and we've made some changes. We've upgraded our reception areas and added banquet facilities with everything you'll need to host family and friends. On our website, we've incorporated tools to make collaboration with our team simple, and we are now offering financing where lenders compete for you. In addition, you'll find our pricing information and reviews. We're proud of who we've served and the feedback that they've shared. At Peter's Funeral Home, your comfort and satisfaction are our top priorities.
Folks, this is Michael Bench for Salty's Barbecue and Catering, where you can get the best of both worlds, smoking and grilling. Whether you're watching a game, feeding the family, or hosting an event, Salty's Barbecue and Catering serves Kern County's best barbecue. Plus, the new Salty's Banquet and Event Center can help make any event one to remember. Salty's has 2 locations to serve you, 9425 Rosedale or 6801 White Lane. Salty's Barbecue and Catering, California grilled, Texas approved.
Welcome back. We're talking live music, or lack thereof, during this no-fun, no-income pandemic. I asked Don Bynum of Timber Brewing how his place is holding up.
Tom and I are the main partners. I'm the main CEO, yeah.
Okay.
I'm here every day.
So what kind of shows in the past have you had over the years?
Wow, we've had the whole gambit. Punk shows, indie rock, reggae, lots of country shows. But more recently, Numbskull Productions has done most of our shows, and they're a producer, or they're a promoter from up in the Bay Area.
Right.
And they did most of the B-Rider shows back in the day. And when B-Riders shut down, they kind of transferred some of those over here, and then we've just kind of been working with them. It works well for us to focus on being a venue and a brewery instead of a promotion company.
And you have a nice little size, like 200 people in the.
So if we go in the back, it's actually 300 pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is now? And then in here we could do 500.
Oh, that's right. I saw a concert in here.
And you can see we have the lighting up there.
I saw a Johnny Cash cover band here.
Yep. Oh, it's just been a crazy roller coaster. The main thing that has happened is we've gone from focusing on being a restaurant and shifting to what can we do to survive, which is mostly putting our product into cans. So we've spent a lot of time and effort creating new products for cans. We've signed up for distribution in Los Angeles, so we're now distributing our products down south, which has been great. But yeah, we just really had to dive into how do we sell our beer outside of Timber and focus on that. And you know,
I got to believe that having a place where you have live music is just fun. I mean, it's a hassle, I'm sure, but it's fun too, isn't it?
It is a lot of fun. It's very stressful.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you try to see if you can get one of your favorite bands to come or not. You know, I mean, we've
a little something for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, no, I mean, we miss it. We miss it a lot. It's been very quiet around here. So.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, what are the things that's damaged? It's damaged your bottom line, your business. And then, I mean, what else? I mean, you contribute to Bakersfield culture, too. I mean, this city has a great tradition, music tradition, and you know, you look around, and, I mean, there's Timber, Fox, you know, Crystal Palace. You're the big three.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really scary to think about who will be able to survive this. You know, we've been lucky to get some help in the form of loans, the Payment Protection Program, the Kern County Disaster Fund. Without that help, we wouldn't be open right now. Yeah. So we're very fortunate in that regard. You know, we've lost about 10 employees from the whole thing. So we're sitting at about 75% of our former employee base. Being able to operate the patio in the short run is a huge blessing also. I mean, yeah, so we've just been trying to serve people on the patio.
So you've got this legislation, federal legislation that they're kicking around, Save Our Stages and Restart are the two. What can you say about those bills?
I'm very pleased to hear about those movements. You know, but you know, I haven't thought about it a whole lot. Just completely distracted, you know. But I hope that there is some help that can come from the feds for venues, because music's very important to our culture, and if we lose the opportunity to see live music in a bunch of different places, that's really going to erode the culture of America and what we're, you know, where we come from. And I think that would be a very sad thing. I think we should do everything we can to help venues stay open and survive long term. So. And
then we have a great Bakersfield tradition of live music.
Yes. Yeah. And honestly, it was when we first opened 5 years ago. It was a little dry, you know, compared to the history, but it had been improving immensely year by year. The music culture here, the live music culture, had been growing dramatically, I thought, and you know, so I hope we can continue that on once this is all over.
Rick Kreiser created a popular long-running concert series called Guitar Masters that most recently hosted shows at Buck Owens Crystal Palace. He, too, is ready to crank things up again.
You got to have guys like me somewhere. Sometimes that's tied in with the venue, but a lot of the times we're just independent agents. We hire the talent, we're responsible for paying them, we're responsible for whatever the writer says. They do the show. Now, so that's two things, right? The third, of course, is the venue, which is what this is all about. If they don't survive, where are we going to play? Yeah. So the artists understand that very well, to the point where many of them are saddling up to some of their favorite venues all across America, doing benefit shows virtually, but specifically for venues like the Coach House in San Clemente, the Troubadour, the City Winery in Nashville, all of these legendary places, the Birchmere, legendary places that just don't have a business without entertainment. Revolves around my sacred piece of solid. I would never ask for help for Guitar Masters. Yeah. Because we don't exist without a show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have the ongoing costs that the venues have just to maintain. Yeah. What does live music such as Guitar Masters do for a community? I know it. Well, I think I know what it does for you. It's a great hobby. You get to get Gets my yayas out, man.
But for guys for guys like me, just know whether I go to a show or not, just knowing that it's there. I live in a town where it's such a cool.
It's a choice.
thing. Yeah.
It's a quality entertainment choice. You know, I've told you a number of times, I don't do it for the money. I try and host the shows with people I enjoy watching and those that I think are patrons, which of course is the other so important part of this. You know, the artist, the venue, promoter, and the patron. You know, because if you don't really have an audience built in, then you're always starting from zero. So if you're going to do it for like break even, then you better have some folks that are willing to come alongside you. That's the way that works. But to your point, those artists are so committed to helping the venues stay in business. It means everything to them. You know, they're all doing live streams now, but it's not the same.
We'll be back after the break. You're watching Kern County In Depth.
If you're working from or staying home, now is the perfect time to get your air conditioning system checked before the summer heat hits. A reminder from EconoWare. For 70% of our normal AC tune-ups, we do not need to enter your home. Call now for our preseason service special. And remember, in most cases, your EconoWare service tech does not need to enter your home. Call now for our preseason service special. That's 832-1700. Again, 832-1700. EconoWare.
We have a few customers here that have bought 4 or 5 RVs from us.
I talk to Barry. He tells me, hey, make sure you get your children involved in utilizing that motorhome. They'll love it. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to have this experience with my family. You've done your job stellar.
Well, thank you.
Stellar.
And we're pretty fortunate. Our customers are great. There's not a day that goes by where somebody doesn't come in and has a story or is very appreciative or something that we've done, and it makes the job fun.
Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Dad, look, he dumped his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof floor at Bakersfield's best flooring store. Now offering 1-year, no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Every day is sale day.
Hey guys, care to try one of our barbecue dogs from across America?
What's that?
Well, there's our flavorful Carolina dog, our Kansas City dog, or our scrumptious Texas dog.
Wow.
We'll take one of each.
Sweet.
What is happening?
Get saucy during Wiener Schnitzel's Barbecue Dogs from Across America event.
Welcome back. That is our program for this week. Check out this and other editions and web extras of Kern County In Depth on our website, kget.com. I'm Robert Price, in for your regular host, Jim Scott. I'll be here next weekend as well. For all of us here at 17 News, thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be well and be safe.
Kern County In Depth with Jim Scott is a production of Kern Golden Empire Television. For more information on how you can contribute, simply visit kerngoldenempire.com.